The year was 1998. The subject is Jeremy Charles Dewitte. It was June 11th, 1998 at approximately 15:50 hours. I, Officer Ross, met with complainant K.J. Worry of the mobile gas station in reference to a theft. Worry is the owner of the listed mobile gas station, and he, along with witness and the cashier, Cassandra Singleton, advised me of the following in a sworn written statement. On May 15th, 1998, at approximately 7:35 in the morning, Singleton was working behind the cash register at the mobile gas station. She noticed that a dark blue car that she thought could possibly be a Ford Taurus pulled parallel with pump number 2 and attempted to pump some gas. The first thing Singleton noticed about the car was that it bore a large blue light on the dashboard, a long antenna on the trunk, similar to a police car. Singleton thought that this car was possibly an undercover police car, and a white male suspect whom Singleton described to be approximately 20 years old exited the driver's side of the car and was wearing blue jeans and boots. Through her window, Singleton saw that the white male was having difficulty activating the pump with his gas card. Feeling that he was probably a law enforcement officer, Singleton trusted him enough to manually activate the pump from inside the store and allowed the suspect to pump 12 gallons of gas into the blue car. Singleton advised that the total price of the gas came to $14.50, an unbelievable price at today's fuel prices. When the suspect entered the store to pay, Singleton saw that he was wearing a badge on his belt that looked very similar to a sheriff's star. She also saw that he was wearing dark shades and brown hair. Initially, the suspect presented Singleton with a Mobile Go card as payment. For an unknown reason, Singleton learned that payment using that particular card had been denied, so she advised the suspect to present another form of payment. The suspect told Singleton that he had no other way to pay her for the gasoline. Singleton advised the suspect was required to pay her and that she was not permitted to allow him to leave the premises without paying for the gas. The suspect then advised Singleton that he was a police officer and that he knew Singleton could not hold him there. Singleton advised me, the officer, that she knew that a police officer would not pump gasoline and then not be able to provide some sort of payment, so she requested that the suspect provide her with his state gasoline card. The suspect told her that he was called on the job early that morning and that he left the house without it. Singleton advised me that her initial instinct was to call the police. However, she decided to contact her boss, Worry, at his home instead. Worry advised Singleton via telephone to copy down all of the suspect's personal information and then allow him to leave. Worry also spoke to the suspect on the phone, who identified himself as Jeremy Charles Dewitte. Dewitte told Worry over the phone that Worry could deal with his problem, in one of two ways. Dewitte suggested that Worry could notify the police and phone this report in as a gas drive-off, in which case Dewitte would merely be slapped on the hand by his supervisor. Or Worry could allow Dewitte to return on the same date by 5 o'clock that day and provide payment for the gas. Believing that Dewitte was truly a law enforcement officer, Worry agreed to the latter. Dewitte then hung up the phone and provided Singleton with his full name, home address, date of birth, driver's license number, and home telephone number. He also told Singleton that his work telephone number is something. It should be noted that the telephone number to the Orlando Police Department complainant's desk is very similar to the one Jeremy Dewitte gave him. Singleton advised that Dewitte then entered his car and left the premises and was last seen driving eastbound on West Colonial Drive. A store receipt of the amount of gasoline stolen, along with store video surveillance containing Dewitte's photograph, were seized and entered into OPD property and evidence under EJ 4523A. Due to the fact that Dewitte's birthday is February 10th, 1980, he is ineligible to be sworn as a law enforcement officer in the state of Florida. Therefore, any claim that Dewitte made in regard to being a police officer was false. Worry stated to me that the only reason he waited nearly 3 weeks to report this incident was because he believed that Dewitte was truly a police officer and was expecting payment for the gasoline at any time. To this date, Dewitte has not returned to the store and has not made any payments toward his gasoline. Worry advised me that he would like to press charges for the theft of gasoline on behalf of Mobile Gas Station. Singleton advised me that she would recognize Dewitte if she saw him again. It should be noted that Dewitte is listed as a suspect in a similar case under OPD Case 98114131. Although Dewitte reportedly did not pretend to be a police officer in that case, he did have charges filed on him for theft of gasoline from another Mobile gas station. It should also be noted that Dewitte is listed as a witness in OPD Case 98-200039, and in that case, Dewitte claimed that he is employed as a security guard at the Palms Apartments in the 1400 block of Mercy Drive. Singleton remembered that as Dewitte drove away, she obtained a Florida tag PC66L. This tag is currently registered to Dewitte as the listed address. However, it is assigned to a dark blue 1994 door Dodge Shadow. On June 14, 1998, I intended to present Singleton with a photo lineup containing Dewitte's pictures. Pending a positive identification, either probable cause paperwork will be left at the supply window or charges will be filed at large with the state's attorney's office for impersonating a police officer and theft. And in a follow-up report from June 25th, 1998, at approximately 1550 hours, Officer J. Ross, along with Deputy Sheriff Reeves of the Orange County Sheriff's Office, who would follow Dewitte around for the next 28 years, still arresting him, attempted to make contact with Dewitte at his residence. And upon arrival, we saw a blue four-door Dodge Shadow bearing Florida tag PC66L parked in the driveway of Dewitte's residence. It bore flashing lights and the windshield and rear window both in strobe and rotating formats. The vehicle's trunk also bore 3 large metal antennas. The tag was a Police Authentic League PAL license tag. I knocked on the front door of Dewitte's residence, and the door was opened by a white male matching the picture I had of Dewitte. I asked the white male if his name was Jeremy, and he replied yes. He was then placed under arrest without incident. Upon placing my handcuffs on Dewitte, an unknown white male, claiming to be Dewitte's stepfather, yelled from inside the house, "Jeremy, you're a effing liar. You told me that Mobile was the last one." Although Dewitte initially denied any problems at Mobile, he later completed a sworn written statement after a post-Miranda interview. In his statement, Dewitte admitted that he did not pay for the gasoline and that he has not paid since the date of the incident. He also advised that he is an explorer with the Oviedo Police Department. He advised that he displayed his gold Oviedo Police Explorer badge when Singleton requested an alternative form of payment. Dewitte included in his post-Miranda statement that he very vaguely recalled his statement to Singleton upon showing her the badge. He told her that he either identified himself as a police explorer or a police officer explorer, but he was not certain as to which. As I escorted Dewitte to my patrol car, Dewitte's stepfather handed me Dewitte's wallet, which he stated contained the arrestee's driver's license. Before I could allow the wallet to enter CBO with the remainder of his property, I had to search it for contraband. Upon opening the wallet, I saw that it contained a gold badge that bore the lettering Oviedo, Florida Police Explorer. The wallet and the badge were seized and entered into evidence under EJ 4989A. Due to the fact that Dewitte's vehicle was used during the commission of a felony, the vehicle was seized for forfeiture as well. So that the vehicle could be towed, I surveyed its condition and inventoried its contents. Behind the driver's seat on the floor was a blue plastic box. Inside the box was an unloaded Smith & Wesson Model 686 revolver. Also in the box were 6 .38 caliber rounds and 2 speed loaders. For safekeeping, the firearms and ammunitions were placed into OPD property with evidence under number GA5848A. The gun box and the speed loaders were entered into the same number, under the same number as the wallet and badge. While en route to CBO, Dewitte spontaneously repeated, "All I ever wanted to do was be a police officer."
All I ever wanted to do was be a police officer. You've got to believe me. I didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted to be a police officer. Oh, God.
Dewitte was charged with impersonating a police officer and theft. During another follow-up on June 26, 1998, at approximately 1500 hours, CST Rogers and I responded to 500 North Kilmer Avenue, which is the location in which Dewitte's vehicle is being stored. While there, Rogers obtained photographs of the entire vehicle, including its entire electrical lighting apparatus. It should be noted that after close inspection, it was determined that none of the lights on the Dewitte's vehicle are blue. This, however, does not affect Dewitte's original claim to Singleton of being a police officer. The presence of the lights that Singleton saw only substantiated the fact that she believed she was speaking to a legitimate law enforcement officer. After speaking with Sergeant Sonia White of the Criminal Investigation Division Property Section, it was determined that sufficient probable cause had been granted to charge Dewitte. It was decided that a photo lineup was unnecessary to complete the investigation. While CST Rogers and I were at Johnston's record, I noticed that what appeared to be a radio scanner mounted in the dash of Dewitte's vehicle. This instrument was in plain view from the outside of the vehicle. In the upper middle area of the vehicle's dash, there was a recessed area which held both the controls for the vehicle's flashing lights as well as the scanner. And although the scanner is mobile in nature and functions on AA-type batteries, it should be noted that this recessed area in the dash appeared to have only one function, and that was to house the scanner. Upon further investigation of the unit, I noticed that it was labeled as Radio Shack Pro 23 50-channel programmable scanner. Due to the fact that the unit has 50 available channels to potentially be programmed with, its user is capable of programming any frequency into any one of the scanner's 50 banks with any radio frequency that the scanner is capable of receiving. Upon turning the scanner on, I saw that the unit immediately searches for activity in channels 1 through 50. It should be noted that the channels 11 through 34 were programmed with radio frequencies which are designated by the Federal Communications Commission primarily for the use by state or local law enforcement agencies. Listed below are those frequencies. Due to the fact that it is unlawful to install in a non-emergency vehicle radio equipment that utilizes the assigned frequencies of state or law enforcement officers, the scanner was removed from the vehicle and placed into OPD property and evidence under EJ503663A. Due to the totality of all the circumstances involved in this case, Dewitte should also be charged with obtaining property by false impersonation. So this is Jeremy Dewitte's original police report from 1998, where apparently there were other police reports at the same time about similar stuff, where he was early on in his life impersonating a law enforcement officer, hooking up flashing lights to his vehicle, carrying around a gun. This time it happened to be a loaded firearm, and wearing a badge. And this is how he dresses 28 years later. And now he's in jail going to prison again for impersonating a law enforcement officer. And we're watching the whole thing right here on the Jeremy Dewitte Show right here on YouTube. And I appreciate you sticking around, watching the whole thing. If you like this video and you want to see more, make sure you like it. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss anything else. And comment down below. Let me know what you think of all of this and whatnot. Appreciate you watching. As always, have yourself a great day.